Hey Team Titleist, I'm Billy Horschel. We're here at the first FedEx Cup playoff event here at the St. Jude Classic. We're gonna go through my bag here real quick, show you what I'm playing with. We're gonna start off with the golf ball, one of the most important things in the bag. I mark it the same way I have since my college days, with orange and blue Sharpie for my Florida Gators. So I take it in whichever way the Pro V1x is, I take it on the left side of that and put a orange dot to the right of the 4, and then I do half of the Pro V1x like that, and then we do the blue marker, do the other half. Everything's freehand. I don't use a little device, and then a blue dot to the right of the 4. So you've got the orange and blue, and then the blue dot to the right of the 4. So the reason I love this Pro V1x, got a little bit more spin and has a little bit higher launch angle. I just love it because I can do so much with it. I want the ball to launch higher naturally, and I can work it going down. It's tough for me to launch the ball up in the air. So anything that can get the ball up in the air, and then I can easily bring it down and flight it. And then knowing that the spin is going to be consistent throughout the club, whether it's a 3/4 shot or a full shot, is vital in sense of distance control. And then around the greens, when we play firm, fast greens, I'm thinking, especially elevated greens, when I'm thinking places like Augusta, thinking places like earlier this year at Pinehurst, where we got to hit the ball a little higher but have some spin still to it so it can hold on the greens and check. It's I have a lot of confidence in this golf ball that no matter what the conditions or what the shot calls for, the ball is going to produce what I want it to. So I put the new Titleist GT3 in the bag right away at Memorial. They came out with it that week at the Memorial tournament there at Jack's place. Hit it right away within 5 or 6 balls. Was really impressed with the ball speed, with the consistency of the spin rate. I didn't go out any harder or anything.
1.6, like you're moving that head quicker, so when Stephanie's bring to life aerodynamics for you, you're moving it quicker, you're touching 117.
On shots that I hit perfectly and on shots that I mishit a little bit, I've gained distance, which is something I've never seen. You know, I've never gained 2 to 3, almost 4 miles per hour before with a driver, and instantly I've gained that, and I've seen that on a regular basis now versus my TSR that I was using. The thing that is important about this driver that I think people aren't overlooking but aren't talking about enough is whether you hit it in the center or you miss it a little bit, the spin rate is very consistent. Whether I hit it good and it's 2,300 or I miss it a little bit off the bottom and it's 25 or maybe 26. I mean, the thing to me is that, like, with all those, even the ones I miss, like the dispersion's still tight. Like we haven't lost anything.
No.
It's faster, spin rate's more consistent.
Spin was really consistent.
Everything was within 23 to 2,400 RPMs of spin, which is unbelievable in terms of what that does for your downrange distance. Yeah. It just pulls them all tighter towards your longest drive.
It's crucial because if I'm trying to carry a bunker that is sort of at my limit and I miss it, I know that if I miss a little bit, it's going to be really close to my perfect spin rate, which is around 23 to 2,400, and that I still have a chance of carrying that bunker if it's only going to spin 26. If it spins at 28, 29, 3,000, that ball's not going to carry as far. So now I'm going to struggle, or I'm going to worry about missing. If I miss a tee shot, I may not carry that bunker. So having the confidence of when I need to carry something that I know even if I do miss it, the spin rate's going to be there, we're still going to get the very close, if not the same amount of carry as a perfect golf shot. So that's very vital out here for me. I'm not the longest guy by any means, but it just means that versus my really good tee shots that I hit in the center versus my miss hits, they're very similar in the carry distance. And that's been a huge bonus for me since I put in the bag in early June. Okay, so I still play the TSI 3-wood and 5-wood. I'm a stickler with my fairway woods. Once I find something I like, it's really tough to get it out of my bag, especially the 5-wood. This 5-wood's been amazing. I've gone through a couple of them over the last couple of years. You know, you hit them so much, you flatten out the face or the face cracks from time to time, like any club. But it's my old faithful. Whenever it's in my hands, I feel very confident that I can hit any shot with it. High, low, cut, draw. And so the 5-wood's a very versatile club in my bag. The TSI 3-wood, same thing. I love this thing. I love that I can hit it high in the air. You know, when we're going for a par 5 sometimes, you want to get that distance, but you also want to get that trajectory. You want to get it up in the air so you can have a chance of landing it softer on the green and then holding the green. So these two fairway woods have been huge, and I love them. I've hit some really unbelievable shots with them over the last handful of years. I've got a little mixed combo set in here. Worked with JJ with Titleist this off season for a couple of reasons. I wanted to get more consistency with my spin rates and my irons. The golf ball has been a vital key to that, but we wanted to see if we could be a little bit more consistent with the spin rates. And JJ had a couple ideas, and we went to the T100 heads with the 3 and 5 iron. I love the blades. I love the the 620 MBs, but it's nice to have a little more forgiveness in your long irons. We don't miss the center of face too much, but when we do, having the T100s to be able to help us a little bit, to allow us to not only get the distance out of it, but the dispersion left to right and be closer to our line is huge. It could be the big difference of hitting a green versus hitting it in the water, hitting in a bunker. So this has been a big benefit putting these babies in over the last year. I have the 620s through the 6 iron through the 9 iron. I've had these in for a couple years now. Love them. The consistency of them, the shot shaping ability, the ability to work the shot whichever way I want. I just love it. It's been a really good iron for me over the last, like I said, last 3 or 4 years since I put them into play. Another change we made a couple months ago was we put in a pitching wedge, not the set pitching wedge as I've had for the last couple of years. I thought I'd just been seeing too much early in the year that the set pitching wedge was, I'd catch little jumpers here and there. And I talked with Aaron Dill with Titleist and JJ, and they were like, hey, let's try out a pitching wedge of 47. It says 46, but I think we bent it to 46 or 47 to get the number we wanted out of it. Actually says 45, but I think it's 46 or 47. And right away I saw, once again, the big thing is having the consistency in the spin rates, having the consistency and the carry and the ball not going further than what we need it to go. And right away, no more jumpers. When I hit a shot, I know it's going to go the distance I want. I'm not getting that random flyer out of the middle of fairway that I was seeing with a set pitching wedge. And so big benefit putting this in play. My coach, Todd Anderson, has tried to get me to do this for a while now, and I can be stubborn at points and certain things. And I finally came around and saw the light at the end of the tunnel with this. And then with the other wedges, I play a 52, a 56, and a 60. My 60 is actually 62, and my 56 actually 57. Been playing these wedges now for 4 or 5 years. Well, like I said, worked with Aaron Dill, Bob Vokey, unbelievable wedge builders, the way their mind thinks, the way they see things, the ability to just make little subtle changes to help us out when they, with the feedback we give them, has been a huge success. My wedge game's improved since I put these in a bag, not just around the greens, but into the greens, from 125 to 50. For the last couple of years, I don't know where I am this year, but I was, a top 25 wedge player on tour, and I have to, give a big shout out for having these wedges in the bag for that.
And that's the key, man. You want to have, I call having the right tools in your toolbox, having the right wedges to be able to hit this variety of shots.
Exactly.
The combination of the 2 wedges that you have, they got to be able to be very, very versatile.
And the grinds, everyone always wants to talk about the grinds. I've got a F grinder in the 52. I've got an M grind in the 56. With this one, I remember a couple years ago, I asked Aaron just to, take a little bit more bounce off because I wanted to chip with it a little bit. And I felt like it was just bouncing a little bit too much around the greens. And so it allowed me to get the club a little bit more underneath the ball so it comes off a little softer, has a little more spin. And then in my 60, I've got the V grind. I love this grind. This is a really good grind. It allows me and my technique, where I'm probably a little bit more shallower in chipping around the greens. I got some relief right here in the front for that, so it's not bouncing right away. It's sliding underneath the golf ball. And then when I hit full shots, there's enough bounce there that it doesn't slide underneath the ball. The bounce saves me, and the ball, like you want to hit it in a certain spot, it's hitting right up in the second, the third, the fourth groove when you're hitting full shots. And then out of bunkers and hitting flop shots, because of the relief on the backside as well, it opens up and I can really slide underneath it. Doesn't matter what surface it is. I know guys when they go over to the UK and play links courses and firmer ground, they may put a T grind in for less bounce and more forgiveness to slide it under, but I don't have that issue. I can still slide it under. It's not going to bounce on any of the firmest grounds that we play for me. So the V grind's been a great addition. Like I said, when I worked with Aaron 4 years ago, we had a couple different grinds, and the V grind is the one that he said was was most perfect for me and my chipping styles and the shots that I like to hit. The grinds that you use can hurt your game or be very helpful. That's why you got to work with, you know, a club fitter and people who understands the ability of grinds can do to help you chip around the greens or hit shots on the, you know, wedge shots on the golf course. So, you know, make sure that when you do choose wedges, that it's not just for the loft, but it's also for the grind, because like I said, it can be very beneficial and make you make it a little easier for you to hit shots around the greens and perform better to your skill level.